All right, let's go.
Won't you stop and take a little time out with me? Just take 5.
Yo, at Tape 5 Pod. You already know what it is. So we got 4 faces on here. Make sure y'all follow us on all social media. TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. This is gonna be a funny episode. But like I said, daily content. Supposed to be our cross pattern episode here, but as you can see, he's actually not on this live, but he's gonna come through with the recording for us and answer some of the questions we have for him. But we do have one of our favorite guests on here. We got Big Noah in here.
Yeah. The guy.
And I need like an applause soundboard, like iCarly or something.
Make some noise for sure.
You were playing for real, like that's crazy. But Big Noah, how you feeling this morning?
I can't complain, bro. Like I had a pretty physical night last night at the bars. You know what I mean?
Wow.
I have some work to get done today, but you know what I mean? I'm just excited to talk ball with my friends.
For sure.
I'm glad to hear that.
For sure. To work hard, play hard. Yeah, so it's a cross-pad episode. We all know him well, but you know him particularly on the athletic sense. You know what I'm saying? So that's part of the reason why we brought you here this morning. We wanted to, kind of talk to you about, what you've seen out of Cross or his progression from, the high school to, collegiate and everything he's got going on, what he's doing. So what have you seen out of Cross lately, if you have, that you could kind of highlight for us?
What have I seen out of Cross lately? I mean,
what was the last thing you saw out of Cross?
This isn't anything new to him, but just the work ethic is off the charts. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people will just, they get to college just because they're just naturally more athletic or just bigger, faster, stronger, whatever the case may be. But like, in my opinion, Cross is one of the more complete football players I've ever played with. You know what I mean? Just quick, shifty. He's got straight line speed, the ability to break tackles, the ability to read, blocks and things of that nature. So I'm really excited for this upcoming season. I think he's out there at the University of Nevada. You know what I mean? That's exciting. You know what I mean? There's some good football being played out there. I feel like he's going to have an opportunity to show what he can do. You know what I mean? That's one of the main things about college football that people don't really understand. You're not always going to get an opportunity. Like you're not just given chances; you have to earn them.
This is true.
I'm sure the Cross has earned some playing time, the opportunity to show what he can do out there on the field. So I'm excited. I'm gonna be tuned in every Saturday. Okay, you feel me? I'm tuned in. Okay.
Yeah, it's getting to be that time. No, it's definitely getting to be that time. I definitely second that. Like just for watching from afar, we could definitely tell that Cross like now he has a high love for the game of football. So works very hard at what he does. But I'm gonna get Julian in here, to chime in about Cross's football journey, what you've seen from him throughout the years, really.
Honestly, like I'm gonna go ahead and second what Noah said. Honestly, like we started off together at a pretty young age playing. And at first, Cross was, he's a pretty short little football player, so we didn't know where he was gonna go. But by the time we got into high school, especially the later years, we saw Cross really grow as a player, honestly, and as a person. So yeah, I'm excited to see what he does.
Absolutely. Jacob, any comments about your boy?
I mean, I have only known him really like on the personal level because I'm not athletic like that, like these boys, but he's a great guy. One of my first friends at Woodward. We rode the bus together every day. So really great dude I've known pretty much my whole life. And it's been crazy to see his journey, really.
Yeah, I'm proud of this man. At Tape 5 Pod, again, make sure y'all stay tuned. He's going to bring in a recording for us, something answering some of the questions we have for him about him and his journey. So stay tuned for that. But Jacob, I'm going to pass it to you. So We have, the football's coming around the corner. We're all excited for that. Also, I know you had some questions for these guys about, what they think about the upcoming players and some things like that. But I'm gonna pass it to you. So, what you got for us, Jake?
Yeah, well, first of all, we all know about Joe Burrow. We saw he got hurt. Obviously, prayers up for him.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say somehow this injury gets worse and he's out for an entire season, completely hypothetical. What does that do to the Bengals?
Yeah, let's get into that.
When I first saw this, I was scared. Like I thought that was a torn Achilles, the way he was hopping around on that.
Right.
I mean, it could be the KD thing, like calf to Achilles injury. So like they really should be careful with it. But
that's what I was thinking of.
Nah, they definitely need to. Like if they rush him back, like that could get very bad. But to answer your question though, like the Bengals are done without Joe. Obviously, like we all know, just like the Bengals are dumpster fire. So
I don't even know who his backup is. Do y'all?
So I guess it's Trevor Siemian.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
that's not gonna cut it. Yeah.
Well, I don't see. Look, I think that kind of train of thought kind of is dangerous because when you say, okay, they're going to be a dumpster fire, all this, all right, cool. But I think they can survive without Joe Burrow. I'm not sure the severity of the injury, but I definitely think he should be done in training camp and he should be done for the preseason. And I don't think it would hurt to be, kind of sit him the first couple games of the regular season. You know what I mean? Like, say worst case scenario, you go down 0-2 to start the season. I think that's not an insurmountable hole that they've dug themselves into. And at the end of the day, Joe Burrow is about to be like the highest paid quarterback ever very soon. You know what I mean? And when you put that type of investment on a player, like you want to make the most out of your investment, but you also don't want to lose it all being silly. You know what I mean? And a big part of Joe Burrow's game, he's not necessarily a rushing threat, but he's a scrambler for sure. And his ability to navigate the pocket and evade rushers is kind of what makes him special. He doesn't just have the greatest arm ever, but all that put together makes him the player he is. So I would take my time with him. Like it is what it is. Like you're not gonna be playing for Super Bowls every year in the NFL. That's just not how things work. So
wait a minute. Look, that's where I'm gonna stop you. Yeah, wait a minute. Yeah, first and foremost, you're only playing for one thing, though. Like we were talking about this the other day in a different conversation. Like we're only playing for one thing. Like first and foremost, we're playing the game again. All right,
that's fine. It's just like the objective of team sports. Okay, is to win. However, it would be short-sighted to empty the tank on this season and potentially jeopardize his future because that's happened before. I don't know if y'all remember.
They're not going to rush him back, bro. They're not rushing Burrow.
I think Zach Taylor said that. I might be making this up, but I think he said that he was going to sit him in the first couple of weeks of regular season.
Yeah, there's no big deal. I'm not going to lie. Their first two games are against the Browns and the Ravens, and it could get dicey. They could go down 0-2, but then they fought those games with the Rams and the Titans. Those are winnable games without Joe Burrow, and then they play Arizona, which is also a winnable game without Joe Burrow.
I don't know if the Titans are a winnable game without Joe Burrow.
It
is. We'll see.
The Titans don't really move. I mean, you can win any given Sunday, right? But you don't. The odds aren't in your favor. But they've got so much talent on that team. Like, okay, say you put in Trevor Siemian, who's a career below average quarterback. I think I'm looking at his career. He's 13 and 17.
Your career back.
He's a career backup, but 13 and 17 as a starter isn't the worst. Okay, he's a couple games under 500.
He's experienced. I mean,
he has experience, and he's also got Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. He's got a revamped offensive line, Joe Mixon, and then you've got some pieces on the defense to keep you competitive as well. And I kind of just like the Bengals coaching staff. I think they can put them into some positions to win. So I think your season isn't doomed if Joe Burrow starts the year on the injured list. So
would you load manage?
load.
You
Yeah,
You
we
can't
should
really
load
load, man.
manage him. Like this is the direction that we're going into.
You can't really low manage in football. Like, not
Yeah,
really.
you can't. I mean, at least not at quarterback. Like, if
Running
you
backs,
got
you can.
positions, yeah, like running back or like maybe really any other position, but well, not even any position. You can't. I just know you can't do
This
it
is
at
the
quarterback.
quarterback position, though, right? So the
Yeah,
highest
you
paid
can't.
position we're talking about.
You can't load manage him. Just he either needs to play or he shouldn't. Because when you have too many quarterbacks running things in practice and in the game, like there's no rapport between the offense. Like things just kind of get out of whack. You can't load manage him. So I would say keep him out the first 4 or 5 weeks of the season, just depending on the severity of his injury.
I don't think
last
it's
year-
that. I don't think his injury is that bad, honestly. Like, I don't know. Like,
They said a couple weeks.
from the reports I heard, like, I feel like like it may come to them keeping him out like maybe a week or two, but like he's definitely gonna sit the whole training camp. He probably will sit, or he will sit off preseason. So like I feel like he has enough time to come back by a real kickoff.
Yeah, season doesn't start for over a month, so
Yeah, so-
about 40 days. So he should have time to get strong.
Yeah.
Right. But okay. But this is all I'm trying to get off my chest here, though, right? So we talk about all the weapons that the Bengals team has, right? We talk about their backup being an experienced veteran, in the football league. He knows how to play. He knows the offense, etc. This Bengals team is not a new team that was just constructed or whatever. They know, the offense. They know what they're trying to do, what they're trying to accomplish. All I'm saying is that we don't want to play with fire. Julian alluded to the fact that a calf can quickly turn into an Achilles, which can quickly turn into, us talking about debating whether the season might be over till the season's completely over because we never have this guy back. All I'm saying is that why not just, see how that first game goes. Maybe see how that second game goes. See how this regular season is panning out because, another one of the discussions that we always have, especially me and Julian, is whether the regular season matters in the grand scheme.
In the NFL?
I'm just saying. These aren't necessarily end all be all games. I'm talking about one or two games of the regular
This
season.
is not the NBA though.
Yeah,
Regular season matters greatly. It matters greatly in the NFL. Like,
yeah,
there's
because
only 17 games.
It
And
does,
it's
but
on
at the
top of
same
that-
time, the Bengals last year they started 1-5. I don't know if y'all remember that. It's the early part of the regular season really doesn't matter as much.
Come on,
as
Jacob.
The regular season matters. It's
Yeah,
just
the
how
regular
you
season
close the
matters.
regular season matters more. But like
every game
matters.
is just important, guys. And then on top of that, the reason I think the regular season matters so much in football, and especially let's take the Bengals here. The AFC is super competitive this year, guys. I'm sure we all know that. And playoff, like seeding matters in the playoffs. Home field advantage matters. Like you really don't want to be going to Baltimore behind the 8 ball, and you know what I'm saying. You get the crowd, let the crowd get into it. You don't want to go anywhere. Like when you look kind of towards the top of the AFC, like all the teams that are contending in the AFC, like you'd rather play at home. You know what I mean? Whether it's Baltimore.
It's dicey to even make the playoffs this year in the AFC.
Exactly.
Like, looking at all these teams who can I won't say everyone's a contender, but like in my opinion, there are a lot of contenders in the AFC this year. Like
there's plenty
more than playoff teams. I think
there's gonna be some great teams that don't make the playoffs. So
so we're gonna I don't know. We're gonna have to see. And injury will play a major role in this season. Like a big injury, will greatly affect team seasons. Like it will make them miss the playoffs.
That's what normally happens.
Yeah.
So my question to y'all is, as soon as the doctor hands in the okay, he's on the field.
Maybe. I don't know. But
week 3.
It depends on when he does. Like it depends on what happens. Like if he does it like right before the season starts, like that week, he probably wouldn't play that game. But like if he has enough time to like ramp up a little bit, he'll be in there.
Okay.
100%. There's no shame in being cautious. So
Okay. Very interesting. Jacob, you got anything else for us?
Not with the Joe Burrow.
Okay. All right, we can keep it moving.
All right. So I know what we've been doing lately on this pod is and it's pretty popular. We've been ranking, positions, NFC, AFC. I thought we could move it to the cornerback position this time because I hear there's a lot of chitter chatter. It's a lot of debate. So let's rank the top 5 cornerbacks, not just in a conference, but in the league. Let's go, Julian. Give you some time to think on it. Let it marinate.
While you do that, at Take 5 Pod for daily content, man. YouTube, Twitch, Twitter. We got the clippings out. Got some good highlight videos out there as well. It's transitioning into the football year, so y'all stay tuned.
You feel me? Take 5 on the okay.
Top 5 is tough. I don't know, but no order. This is no order. But I still think Ramsey's in there. But I mean, he is hurt. But I still think Ramsey's in there. I'll have to go Jair Alexander. He's in there. Patrick Surtain. He's in there.
Yeah, I was about to say that's a important one.
The most important one hasn't been said, which is kind of crazy.
Tariq Woolen. I think he's actually in there. He's a ball hawk. He plays good coverage. I think he's in there currently. Am I missing any all-stars? I guess you can slide Sauce in, but I don't know if Sauce is top 5. He had a great season last year. He did have a great rookie season. I'll go Sauce. Right now.
With Sauce on there,
I'll go Sauce.
Why do people not think that Sauce is the best cornerback in the league right now?
Oh, Sauce is. I don't think Sauce is the best corner in football yet. He had 1 year. He did have a good year.
But why are you basing it based off how much time he's had? You just take
that matters.
Patrick Surtain, he's only been in the league for what, 2? He's just a better football player in my opinion. At least as it stands right now. I don't know what Sauce will do, but as it stands, I'm more confident in Surtain.
I think it's a film thing as well. They're definitely. I think Sauce is really physically gifted, right? He's long as hell. He's 6'3". You know what I mean? Twitchy enough athlete, good hips, all that other stuff. But it's just a film thing. I don't think the way he plays is as aesthetically pleasing as a Surtain or Marshawn Lattimore, all those other guys. I think he kind of gets away with a lot of hand fighting stuff too. He could get called. He's liable to get called for more holding and PI, things of that nature. So that's something to keep your eye on for this year too, because once you kind of rise to prominence, there's gonna be a bigger spotlight on you. And it's not like the NBA where you'll get to a certain point and you'll start getting superstar calls. You're gonna have to, you know what I mean? There's gonna be a spotlight on you. Yeah, you have to be airtight. So I like Sauce personally. I don't know, Jordan, you finished with your list or?
Yeah, I'm done.
You finished with your list? Yeah, but I like Sauce, but I think to answer Jacob's question, that's kind of why there's so much kind of questions about. So there's so many questions about who he is as a player already.
So is he in your 5?
I'm not gonna lie. I think cornerback's a position that's super hard to rank. However, he was so dominant last year. I'm putting him in my top 5. I was actually just talking about this with some of the homies last night. I've got him. I've got Sauce up there for sure. Surtain, Lattimore, Jair Alexander, and then from there you can go a lot of different directions. I kind of want to give a shout out to your Marlon Humphreys, your AJ Terrells, some of those guys. I like Tariq Woolen as well. I might put Jalen Ramsey just because he showed me so much over the years. I understand it's a right now today ranking, but you can't just forget what somebody's done in the past. And it's not like he's cooked yet. Jalen Ramsey's still an elite player. He's not in his peak anymore, but he still might be in his prime. So I might throw Jalen Ramsey in there as well. So I think me and Julian have pretty similar lists. Yeah, it is what it is. Those are kind of the big dogs in the league right now until further notice. So yeah.
Oh, Slay. I forgot Slay. Slay's up there too. Slay's
yeah, okay. That's true.
Slay can play.
I'd probably go I got to put Sauce at the 1. I'm sorry. Sauce. 2, Jair Alexander. 3, Surtain. 4, I'll do Darius Slay. 5, I'll do AJ Terrell. Very underrated corner.
And you know,
I might be a little biased, but
one guy that Morgan, do you have your rankings before I jump the gun?
Nah, go ahead. Go ahead.
One guy that's kind of interesting that nobody said is Trayvon Diggs. You know what I mean?
Diggs is a good
no,
player.
I have so many problems with that.
Diggs is a good player, and his ball hawking is like so valuable that like
it is.
It trades off with the times he gets burnt. I don't think he's top 5, but he's a great player though. Like he's
a great ball hawk, and he's really good at generating those turnovers. But sometimes
that's valuable. Like
it
is
creating extra possessions.
And I'm not going to downplay that at all. But it's the fact that he goes for those turnovers almost every single play. That hurts him bad. He gets burned. That's what kills him. So you have to be a little bit more cautious when you play corner, I think.
Definitely, I can agree. I feel like he's still like super young. It's early in his career. He's got an opportunity because you can't teach that those type of ball skills. You just can't. I'm sorry, you can't do it. Like that's not something that you just like a coach can sit you down and teach you. He has a background playing wide receiver, so that probably is one of the major reasons why he's kind of always gravitating towards ball. But you can teach patience, and you can teach discipline, and those are things that he can develop over this next portion of his career, and it can take him from just being a top 10 or top 15 guy to like the best cornerback in football. Because if he's able to remain disciplined, stick to his technique, and then also still give you 5, 6, 7 maybe interceptions in a season, like those are the type of players that like take a defense from good to great, and then he's just transcending the entire team and putting them in another tier of ball clubs. So I like him.
Did he lead the league in interceptions last season?
No, not last year.
I don't think he did last year. No.
Who was it last year?
It was Woolen from the Seahawks. It was Woolen.
Dang.
At the top 5 cornerbacks in. Now that was good. That was good. No, I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? Like that was eloquent. Like,
that's why I'm here, man. You feel me? I'm a knower.
Yeah, something like that. Something like that.
Oh, man.
I would get back to our Prezi. Jacob, we got on football?
Think so. Unless y'all got something you want to touch on.
No?
Dude, guys, I can talk football all day. I was kind of hoping we could talk Falcons for a little bit. I'm a little concerned. I'm a little concerned about the Falcons.
Why?
Okay.
That's interesting. I think we're definitely on the up and up.
Okay, so maybe, and this is all speculation, right? Training camp recently started. We're getting a lot of film from a lot of different clubs. You know what I mean? Obviously, we saw the Joe Burrow tape. I can't go on Twitter without seeing a Patrick Mahomes highlight or a Dak Prescott low light. I'm not seeing enough film from Falcons camp, and I think it's because Desmond Ridder sucks. And it's not the end of the world if he's not like an all-world quarterback or really like a mid-tier starting level. Yeah, it's not the end of the world. However, bad quarterback play, it's not about this year, but it's about the future. It's going to stunt the growth of the young skill position players that we've invested all this draft capital in, and that's why I'm scared. You know what I mean? It's not like I said, it's not the end of the world, but if we have like subpar quarterback play, especially with your pass catchers, your Kyle Pitts and Drake London, we're not really sure what we're getting out of them, and it makes the future a little bit murky when it comes time to pay them. And just in general, you kind of want to know what you invested in pretty soon. You're not going to know overnight. Obviously, everybody's still a work in progress. Kyle Pitts he's only on year 3, Drake London year 2, Bijan Robinson year 1, right? But you kind of want to have somebody go out there and give them a good look. And even if it's not your franchise quarterback, you just kind of want to see something. And I'm just concerned that Desmond Ridder, because I'm not a Desmond Ridder hater. There's a large contingent of Falcons fans who like Desmond Ritter doesn't move them at all. I feel like Desmond Ritter showed me enough in college I have a little bit of faith in him. However, I'm not like a Desmond Ritter truther. You know, I can do without him. And I don't know. And I don't want him to just keep us just good enough. And I'm a Falcons fan, and I don't ever like advocate for tanking, but I don't like mediocrity. Like I hate when the Falcons win like between like 5 and 8 or 9 games. And like we're kind of on the outside looking in on the playoffs, and then we won too many games to get an elite quarterback prospect. That is so frustrating.
And that's exactly what we did last year. We were in prime position to have like a beautiful pick, and then the end of the season we won like 4 games or something like that
for no reason. And I'm like, I think winning, like competing to the best of your ability is it's good for like teams to build a culture and to build some continuity going into the next season. So I'm not necessarily mad about that, but it's just so frustrating to just be average as hell, like the Falcons have been our entire fandom. So I don't know. That's just something I kind of want to keep my eye on, how Desmond Ritter performs. And if he's decent, I think the Falcons can compete and win the division. Honestly. But go ahead.
I can, and I will let Julian come in here and talk a little bit of football. But my question to Noah is like, when's the last time? Like, have you ever seen a commercial for an Aston Martin? You know what I'm saying? Like, have you ever seen a commercial for I don't know, like a mini Honda or something?
A luxury car? No, I haven't.
No, I'm just saying because it's like, you know, just because you don't see like. Just because it's not on the media, you know what I'm saying? Just because it's not, you know,
that's fair.
I don't know, the latest Twitter ad or something like that doesn't mean that, you know, we should have it.
That is a good point.
That's my only rebuttal to like, you know, that first portion of the Desmond Ritter thing. You know, that's me.
That's fair. No, and I'm not mad at that at all. It's just, you know, it's just you kind of just as a fan, because I'm just a fan, and I'm not an obnoxious fan who thinks I'm entitled to everything under the sun. I gotta go to camp to see my quarterback.
Yeah, you gotta go.
I have to go to Flowery Branch. Okay.
I mean, Flowery Branch. Fresh air out there. Like I don't know what to tell you. Like, get out the city. Like I don't know what to say. I've been there. Like, but Jude, what you got?
Okay. I have like mixed emotions on the Falcons. My fear is kind of like what Noah said, that the Falcons my issue with the Falcons is I don't think that Desmond Ritter has to be great for the Falcons to be good this year. Like Desmond Ritter, the things around Desmond Ritter will enable the team to be good and his job to be pretty easy. Like he has to throw to Kyle Pitts and Drake London, 2 huge monsters. Like that shouldn't be that difficult. Our running game will be top 10 to 5 like it was last year. I would say top 5, honestly. So his job is not that difficult. Like he has to hit play action pass, hit deep balls. But to Noah's point, what I've been hearing out of camp is that Desmond Ritter has not been playing well in the first 3 days of practice. He hasn't. I think they said he hasn't hit a deep ball, like any deep ball, in the first 3 days during the 11-on-11 periods, which is like definitely scary. And the bad part about that is like the Falcons will never be great with Desmond Ritter, in my opinion. Like I don't think Desmond Ritter will ever take us there, but I think he can take us to like a 10-win season or an 8-win season, which like Noah said, like we're not going to be able to get a great quarterback out of that. And that scares me. Like that really scares me as a fan. But I don't know. Like we'll have to see. Like he is still young. Like he's only played 4 games, I think. So hopefully he grows a little bit. But I don't think Desmond Ritter is our guy.
I think going into the season or going into as soon as he was drafted, I think we all knew that he was kind of just a placeholder. Like he wasn't going to be the guy of the franchise, or at least, I mean, I really pray not. But yeah, we have a top 5 running game in the league. I think his job should be really easy. I think he'll be in a Jake Fromm type role, you know, letting his running backs handle business. Bijan behind the best O-line in the league. It should be simple. Did you have something to say about Jake Fromm, Noah?
I just feel like we got to respect legends around here.
Oh, God.
Phil, man, I don't know. It's up to you. I don't know. This is my guy, though. I love Jake Fromm. I love Jake Fromm.
He's trash. He's trash. Like, anyways,
It's very
go ahead,
fun.
Jake.
I'm gonna keep us pushing. That's a little Falcons football. That was good. I feel like we haven't talked Falcons in a minute, actually.
Expectations are low though. Got to keep them low.
I feel like our division. One thing though, I do feel like our division is very, very winnable. Like if Desmond Ritter can play good football, I think that we're going to win that division.
I mean, the only threat is the Panthers, honestly, in my opinion.
No,
the
the
Saints are good.
Saints are a bigger threat.
Are the Saints good?
I don't.
They got Derek Carr though.
What does that mean?
I mean, Derek Carr,
Who's the most
Chris
proven
Olave.
Who's he throwing to? Olave and who else?
Thomas.
Michael Thomas. Yeah, that's decent.
Oh, you mean injury boy? He's going to be injured.
And Kamara, if Kamara's playing, I don't know if Kamara's going to play, but yeah.
We go see. Hey, let's keep it moving. A couple of things. Yeah, I wanted to do this a little earlier in the show, but we're all praying for Bronny James. He suffered a cardiac arrest. I think at a USC practice, while practicing. Very scary. It seems like we're seeing this a lot with athletes nowadays. So for a speedy recovery, because he's one of those exciting athletes that is coming up. So praying for him. Jacob, I wanted to get your thoughts on this next one on here. Mbappe rejecting a lot of money. Just talk to us about this a little bit. Like, what have you heard around this situation with PSG?
Well, first of all, as soon as I got the notification that he got this offer, I had to rub my eyes and rub the smudges off my screen and make sure I saw that number right. 776 mil for 1 year is so crazy. And honestly, I'm a little shocked he turned it down. I'm not, because I understand him wanting to actually have a legacy and play with the greatest of the greats, not play against washed up Cristiano Ronaldo for the rest of his career. Well, never mind. But
crazy.
Yeah, that surprised me that he rejected it, but I'm proud of him for it.
I have a question though. Can I ask you a question real quick, Jacob?
Yeah.
Because I'm not a soccer guy. I'll casually watch high stakes soccer. Your what is it called? What is it called? I don't even know what that is called. But World Cup. League? Nah, Champions League. What is it when Barcelona plays Real Madrid?
El Clasico.
Oh, El Clasico.
El Clasico. I fuck with El Clasico. You feel me? But just high stakes soccer. But is it really gonna be that big of a deal to his legacy if he goes away for a year? Because there's no really parallels to I guess a NBA or NFL, but I feel like it's kind of say the Saudis is that racially insensitive? I don't know.
No.
Say the Saudis started funding EuroLeague, right? And there's who's they called Anthony Edwards. It was yo, can you come play over here for 700, almost $1 billion for a year? So Anthony Edwards takes a step away. It's a year. A year's not that big of a deal to me. People are injured for a year. He can go step away, play some low stakes soccer, put up some highlights, and touch almost $1 billion. That's I know a lot of times when we talk about athletes and does it matter if you're getting X amount more money if you're already making all this money? It does. $775 million is enough to feed your family for the rest of time.
Many times.
You know what I mean? So I don't really understand. I heard that he's just he want I've heard legacy stuff and he just was super competitive and all this other stuff. Yeah. I'm not understanding what's going on here. So can you kind of explain why it's that big of a deal?
So I think it's less of a legacy thing. Mm-hmm. And more of it's the fact that he's the best player in the world right now and he is in his absolute prime. So that would almost be wasting a year of his prime. And That's what I think the biggest thing is. I think it's less of a legacy thing. It doesn't destroy his legacy, but it takes valuable years away. It's like LeBron James on the Heat. If he was offered $776 million to go play for the Shanghai Sharks, do you think he would do that for a year?
Yeah, I do. I think it's a little bit different because I'm not entirely sure how soccer works, but like, isn't soccer like damn near like year round? Like, and another thing, like championships matter, in my opinion, a lot more in basketball. That's literally all people argue with basketball debates.
Well,
I'm wrong.
Yes, that's wrong.
Well, no,
he's right.
He's right and wrong. You're wrong internationally. Like international championships matter way more in soccer, in my opinion. Like I would say an international championship matters more than an NBA championship, definitely. But a league championship in soccer, no. Like you're right. An NBA championship, I would say is.
I don't know. To win the Champions League is almost on par.
Maybe not Champions League, but like. Actually, no, I don't.
You mean like to win a Premier League title?
Yeah, like a Premier League or League One or whatever.
I heard from one of y'all very recently that like y'all have like Rob Horry in like your top 50 players because he has all those rings. So, like, I don't know. I thought that's all people care about in basketball. They'll be like, 3 rings versus 4.
No, but that matters in soccer too. Like Mbappe is about to do a thing called completing soccer, or completing football. Like he's about to accomplish every big task in football. Like nobody really does that. And
has anybody ever done that?
He's like 26.
Yeah, like a few people have done it, but like he's doing it at a like very young age, and he almost super completed football because he almost got 2 World Cups in a row. Like he was a crazy goalkeeper save away from getting his first 2 World Cups, which would have been insane. Like he was on like a goal trajectory. Like
I love soccer.
It's definitely like that.
I love soccer.
But yeah. So like I feel like I agree with Jacob though. Like I don't think it was like a major legacy thing. Like it was more like he's trying to get a Champions League. Like that's one thing he couldn't get at PSG. Like he was playing with Messi and Neymar, and they couldn't get a Champions League,
which is crazy.
Who were they losing to?
A bunch of different guys.
Man City, I think.
Why? Like
Real Madrid, Madrid. But
I mean, in soccer, it's not always just like the best team is gonna win.
Okay.
I mean, they had the best attacking, but like they weren't the best team like cohesively. So
this Al Hilal team, they have Ronaldo right now.
No.
Yeah, or they don't.
No. That's not Ronaldo's team. I don't think so. That's the same league.
Same league. Okay. So they're just trying to get all the best players right now.
They're trying to poach everybody.
They should try and get Mo Salah. That's one of my favorite players.
That's actually not crazy. Like at this point in Mo's career, he might actually do.
He actually will go. Yeah.
A Robert Van Persie. You feel me? You feel me? Like. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a lot of ifs. I don't know. The only difference I think, and then one of the differences I think too is like soccer. They have a lot of politics surrounding like these leagues and what the fans will think of you and this sort of thing like that. I don't know if it's kind of the same in like American leagues that we already have in that sense because NFL, basketball, like NBA. Those are the pinnacle leagues that we have of those sports. Like they have different, I don't know. They have more options in terms of where they can play, where they want to play, that sort of thing. So I don't know. I don't think any of us in here are rejecting that offer though.
I mean, if you have a chance to become a billionaire instantly, like he would instantly be a billionaire. Like I feel like I would take that personally. Like,
but also touching on what you said, Morgan. Mbappe did come out publicly and say that one of the only reasons he didn't leave PSG was because he was worried about the slander from the French people.
Yeah, they definitely be hating. I mean, but my comparison was like the PGA and Live Golf thing for real.
Didn't they just collab though?
They did.
They did.
That's weak.
It's just crazy.
PJ is weak.
Yeah, that
they
is
really
weak.
are. They got
because they was talking all that trash and they folded.
It's pretty much like it happens. Like
I
the
would
money
never respect the
talks.
PGA again, ever.
Anyway. And that was interesting this week, though. That was interesting news with the Mbappe thing there. This last panel, I thought we could have a discussion. I felt like this was an interesting one because, well, there's been a couple of debates that we had regarding players. One was Carmelo Anthony. He was kind of brought into the discussion the other day that we had. I saw this one this week. A lot of discussion on Twitter about it. So, in terms of in an all-time sense, we're talking about James Harden and Dwayne Wade. Okay, so who's better all time is the question. So on my screen, Jacob's beneath me. So I'm gonna start with Jacob.
Well, let me just get a clarification. Are we talking greatest or best?
We're talking about. See, don't start with that.
That's an important question.
No, it's not an important question, dude. Who is greater? All right, who is greater all time?
Greater? It's got to be Dwayne Wade.
James Harden.
Really?
I'm asking between the two.
Oh. Dwayne Wade. I think Dwayne Wade. I think he's probably a top 5 mid-range shooter all time. Obviously, James Harden's a better scorer, one of the best scorers all time. But Dwayne Wade, he won a ring before LeBron even showed up. Won a couple more with him. I don't know if he would have won those rings without him. Elite two-way player. He really is just like the whole package. So I'll take him over James.
Very interesting. So again, guys, like let's not use recency now. All right, 13-time All-Star Dwayne Wade, 3-time NBA champ. All rookie, of course. Right. Got an All-Star MVP, 3-time All Defensive over there. 22 points per game for his career. Like he's a solid player. Now he is definitely a solid player. But so no, I'm gonna ask you. Okay, all time, who are you taking? Dwayne Wade or James Harden?
I like James Harden, and I think he's become overhated, especially these last couple of years. Even though he's not like obviously peak James Harden, he's still an all-star caliber player. I think a lot of times fans tend to like as soon as a player is not who they used to be, they begin to kind of overcorrect for the way that the light that they previously held them in, which is cool. So I love James Harden, but I think it's D Wade, and it's not particularly close. I think he's just displayed the ability to carry a team to a championship, because that's what happened in 06.
I mean,
he carried that team.
But yeah.
Yes, he did. He did. And like, okay, you're gonna be like, oh, he had Shaq. What did Shaq do in the finals?
Shaq wasn't that great.
Shaq averaged like 10, like he averaged like 13 points a game.
The whole playoffs, if I'm not mistaken, he wasn't that great.
And D Wade averaged 35. You know what I mean? Like he obviously, I think that carry gets thrown around too loosely in sports today, but that was a carry job. You know what I mean? He was far and away the best player on that team. So that happened in 06. Then in 2011, when Bron shit the bed, D Wade was probably going to win Finals MVP that year if Bron would have came. So, and I'm not even trying to take shots. Well, I am trying to take shots at Bron. I'm just saying, D Wade he's underrated, and injuries kind of like took his like bounce and burst away. So he was kind of I don't want to say a shell of himself towards the middle and end of his career, but like he didn't have the same, like I said, burst and explosiveness he previously had. And he was still a great player. And I think that's another sign of being a great player. When you're able to like realize your physical limitations and kind of transition your game and like become a different type of player and just like kind of alter your play style so you can like get the most out of the skill that you still have, because you never lost a skill. You just lost the athletic ability. I think that's kind of a sign of a great player. So I think it's D Wade, and I don't want to say it's not particularly close, but I think it's D Wade by a comfortable margin at the very least.
All right. So last but not least, Drew, I'm definitely interested in hearing what you have to say. So, Julie, are you taking? Are you taking James Harden or Dwayne Wade all time?
D Wade had a better career than James Harden. That's true, but I'm gonna play devil's advocate for the sake.
Oh
of
my God.
For the sake of, I'm gonna play devil's advocate. Like we have to look at it from a few different viewpoints. So if we're taking their absolute peaks, right? Their absolute peaks. There was a time, yes, when D Wade was debatably. I would never say he was the best player, but he was definitely top two along with Kobe Bryant. Like I know people will lump LeBron in, but there was a time like it was within like what 2000 when he won the championship, 2006 to 2000 and around 7-8. Like when D Wade, he had a case for one of those MVPs as well that Kobe didn't win. But anyways, if we're looking at James Harden's peak, there was a time where James Harden was averaging near 35 points and 10 assists. And he took his team, along with Chris Paul, to a commanding lead over the Golden State Warriors, who LeBron couldn't get more than one game from in 2 years. I'm just saying.
And then what happened?
And then they
Chris shot 0 for 27.
That's one game. That's one game, though. That's one game.
Bro,
I would say, listen. In the highest leverage moments, yes, D Wade is a better player. I would say that. And that's really what matters to me. Like, if it was me, I would take Wade. But if I'm playing devil's advocate, just looking at their peaks, there is an argument to say that James Harden is as good as, like, is just as good, honestly. Like, James Harden that season was a monster. He was the best player, a top 3 player in the league, just completely dominant offensively. Couldn't stop him, so.
And it's close. Like, that's the whole reason this is a debate. Really, I mean, I think if you take away Dwayne Wade's titles, then that immediately makes James Harden better.
You can't take his
titles away. You can't take his titles.
I'm just saying, like,
the only thing is James Harden, now he really does get worse in the playoffs. Like, I don't agree with the point like that James Harden used to get worse in the playoffs. I don't think that's true. Like, that's not true actually. But like now, that's not true.
That is true.
No, that's not. That's not true. Like, James Harden was a good playoff performer like throughout most of his career. Now he's not. But like, I feel like that's definitely way, way overblown because of the fact that they lost to the Warriors in that series. But if health was on his side, I feel like they would have been fine. And again, when he was with the Nets, if health was on his side, they also win that ring. It's like
you remember his playoff performance on the Nets?
Yeah, he was also playing on one leg, like very obviously.
They
only brought him back. He wasn't even gonna play play in that series if Kyrie was healthy. Like they only brought him back because Kyrie went down.
I don't know. That was one of the worst performances I've ever seen in my life.
It was bad, but like he was literally on a leg. So.
You feel me?
All right. Whatever. Okay, Julian. I'll make this a little interesting. I'll make this a bit more interesting. So there's a player, all-time player. He's finished his career now. He averaged 20 points for his career, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 6'7", played for the Celtics. And he talks a lot about these comparisons. He feels that sometimes that we kind of I guess don't put enough respect on his name. So I'm talking about Paul Pierce. Okay. Where does Paul Pierce rank in this discussion here between James Harden, Dwayne Wade, and himself?
He's third.
He doesn't.
He's third.
Is he third?
He definitely
is third.
So even with a title,
he's got to stop that. He's got to stop all of this.
He was part of a big four.
I mean, Dwayne Wade was part of LeBron's dynasty.
And I'm not even going to say that, like, he's, like, I'm not going to, like, attribute my ranking for him to, like, his teammates because I don't think that's fair. But I just feel like as far as, like, skill set goes and accolades and, okay, James Harden is, like, has an MVP at the very least. I don't believe Paul Pierce has an MVP. D Wade has 3 championships?
Yeah.
Yeah, he does.
In a fight. Did Paul Pierce win Finals MVP?
Did he?
I believe
That's a great question. Why
I don't
would
want
he
to
not?
lie.
I feel like KG would have won it if anyone.
Nah,
Let's
I
see.
mean, it's like one of those things where
I don't even remember.
Yeah, he's Finals MVP.
Okay, D Wade also
now.
has a Finals MVP, but has 2 more rings on top of that, and was widely regarded as a top 3 at worst player in basketball for a long time. Paul Pierce has never been that. You know what I mean? So I feel like Paul Pierce, and as an athlete and a competitor, you're kind of supposed to you feel me? Kind of think that you're a little bit better than you might actually be, and that's fine. So he's not tripping, but I think his constant desire to be included in conversations that he really shouldn't be in, and by conversations I mean with other players, not he's allowed to talk. You feel me?
Okay.
These kind of comparisons with these other players, he's got to stop. He was never that. He was never Harden or Wade, but he was
wait a
great
minute.
player.
Wait. Let's not do Paul Pierce though. Let's be.
I'm not doing Paul Pierce.
No, but let's be completely honest and truthful while we're doing this though. Okay. So we're talking about a 6'7" small forward that revolutionized the position. Okay, we're talking.
How did he
revolutionize the position?
He revolutionized the position. Paul Pierce, are you kidding me? We're talking about a guy
offensively.
Yes, offensively, he was.
What was he doing? The other small forward
play out of the post, and he led the Celtics team. He was their best player. He was. What are we talking about?
Yeah, versatility. I don't know if he revolutionized the position. I feel like that's a stretch. He did have, he did expand on the small forward positions a game. I would say that, but there was also who else was a small forward in his time?
We shouldn't just minimize the small forward. He's a wing, so he was playing at the same time as Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
You're splitting hairs by saying small forward. Okay, cool. Kobe Bryant was an inch shorter, and I guess now it's kind of easier to say since we're kind of in the era of positionless basketball. But what they are wings. So Paul Pierce is doing all the same stuff that Kobe, Melo, Bron, all these guys have the ability to do, and that's not even all of them. There's plenty of other wings that came through that time who were just as able to do everything that Paul Pierce was. Not plenty, but Paul Pierce isn't. He's not.
If you're looking at small forwards alone, though, he is right. But your point about being a wing player, or perimeter players, that's true. But small forwards, they didn't have many moves. They couldn't go left. They didn't have a deep bag offensively, Grant Hill, those guys. It's not the same. They weren't.
That's all I'm saying.
They weren't playing guards.
But y'all know how I do this, though. I know exactly how I do this. So let's go back to if we use saves, if we use the laws of saves, right, Jacob? We use saves. So we take the stats. I think James Harden has a leg up. Obviously we know about his scoring accolades. I think he's a 3-time scoring champ in the league. He also 2 times assist champ. Yeah, I see it there. So 2 times assist champ. So we know James Harden is like that. He's going to put up those big numbers. So he has him on stats. But we talk about accolades. So that's the A, Jew. We talk about accolades, though. So I'm going to have to go with Dwayne Wade here. We know what's the object of the game. I mean, come on now. It's the win.
So what's the
yeah. What's the object of the object of the game is to win. So Dwayne Wade, he's done that 3 times. He's been there, done that. I'm gonna have to go with Dwayne Wade's accolades. But if we go into the next S, okay, so that's the story, right? So there's always a story, a backstory behind all of this. So Julian, do you remember what James Harden was doing when he was putting up those 35-point per game, seasons, everything like that? No, maybe you remember. You're our guest. Do you remember when he was locking people's arms, going to the lane?
That's a skill, though. That's a skill.
Yeah, it's a skill. So I'm not going to minimize it. No, but
that's a skill. That's a skill. Yes, that's a skill.
I can't.
If it was easy, everybody would do it because he was doing that en route to 35 points a game. So that is. Dude,
I just think most people don't want to score like that. That's a lame way to score.
That's not true. Most people want to score.
Niggas are scoring by any means necessary.
It doesn't matter.
Sit here and lie. No, that's a skill. That's a great skill at that because he's going to the line where he shoots 90%. That's an elite skill.
Did he exploit the rules of the game?
It doesn't matter. Everyone
did.
tries to exploit the rules of the game. That's
not true.
That's how you.
That's not
what do you
true.
mean?
It's not true.
Yes, you do. You try to exploit the game in the best way that gives you a competitive advantage. That's how life
Exploiting
works.
the referees, no, that's not at all what we're trying to do here. Like we talk about the
That's not
flopping
true.
different. But anyway, this doesn't even matter because now we have rules against everything that he was doing at that time. So now, like, you know, we see it
That's also not
whatever.
true.
But like, you know, so now that everything's changed, it's different. But all I'm saying is the backstory behind it. That's what was happening. You know what I'm saying? That's what was happening.
Let's also look at the other side of the backstory off the court. James Harden was in Houston putting up all-star numbers in strip clubs and coming back and averaging 35 points a game. So we can include that in the story as well.
We can.
I think
and then what we can't include is a championship because of it. That's my only point. That's the
I'm
problem.
curious though, why does like the story matter? Like I understand
Why
that's
does
the
the story
metric.
matter?
Yeah, the story. I feel like we're getting too far away from actual basketball and we're
Because-
sensationalizing it like it's some sort of soap opera. Like, at the end of the day, like
James Harden
I think
and
it's just
Dwayne Wade
hooping.
played in two different eras of ball. Do you not
Okay.
understand that?
yeah, but you got to think though. On top of like, I'm not mad at this like metric, but I think that like story is just at like a lot of your story is out of your control. Like Kobe Bryant's story, we would be talking about him in a much different light. I'm not even saying it in a positive or a negative light if he wasn't drafted to the Lakers or Bron to the Cavs. Like you're like that's a huge part of their story. You know what I mean? But like that's not anything they can control. Like at the end of the day, like they are who they are as basketball players. And I get what you're saying. Like story matters. I think you should like. I mean, whatever. I'm not here to question your
It's
metric.
the context.
There's context.
It's
Yeah,
the context to discussion because in Dwayne Wade's prime, when he was in his prime years, there weren't 10 guys averaging close to 30 at the time. That's not how it was. So
There
when we
also
bring up
wasn't
scoring-
when James, but like I feel like I don't
but
think
when
that
we
there
bring
were
up
when
scoring,
James,
though, Drew,
bro, when James Harden was getting 35, there weren't 10 guys averaging 30 then either. Like maybe now it's a bit closer to that number, but like then who else was getting 30?
one would
KD
argue
and
that
Curry. KD, Curry, and
Russell
LeBron.
Westbrook was averaging 30 at the time. Like,
Okay,
he was.
KD, Curry,
Like, so
LeBron.
it's just like all I'm trying to say is just like, you know, we talk about the skills and drills and that sort of thing. Russ isn't that type of guy. We know that. So I'm just saying the context of this discussion always matters and it always plays into effect when we rank and compare players, Julie. I mean, come on now, like, you know, the context. It's the story. It's the story. You got me. Okay, so all right. Anywho, but to play devil's advocate though, Dwayne Wade had a story as well, right? So we know that he did have that championship where we claim he carried Shaq, to the promised land. Those other two rings, he was playing, a co-star to LeBron James, but he still was, he was the alpha male. He was number 2 on that team. Some called him the vocal leader, whatever you want to call it. Mm-hmm. Dwayne Wade, I'm going to have to take him on story. Eye test. Who do we like on eye test? All right. Skills and judges, just from what we see.
Eye test has to be James Harden.
No, what? Oh my God.
Eye test. You're looking at the eye test. James Harden has one of the most unstoppable moves in NBA history.
Y'all just tried to tell me.
In the highest leverage moments, Dwayne Wade wins on the eye test because he was dominant in the highest leverage moments, and James Harden wasn't. Like in the regular season, okay, like yes, James Harden was he beats the eye test, but he passes that like all the time though. Like it's 80 games.
What do you mean by eye test?
Because like James Harden was James Harden was probably a better regular season player for a lot of his career. Like he was average.
That's not what the eye test is. The eye test is just like looking at how aesthetically you play basketball.
Because y'all just told me James Harden was foul hunting, and now he's better than D Wade in the eye test, and D Wade is like the purest like guard you can be, like, and now like James.
But aside from drawing the fouls, like James Harden is one of the best ISO players of all time. Great handle. The step back.
I just want to add this though. I just want to add this into discussion. So who would you take 1-on-1?
Probably D Wade. Prime D Wade is getting hard out the paint. You got to think D Wade also has all defensive teams.
Yeah,
he does, but he has no chance to guard James Harden 1-on-1. Like
I don't think that's true. Because D Wade was going toe to toe. D Wade was going toe to toe with a lot of niggas and was feel me, he was holding his own. You feel me?
Not a James.
Not people of Harden's caliber. That's not true.
Not a James. Like
nobody of Harden's caliber could he guard. No, he couldn't.
No, you know how I feel about dudes.
I witnessed this in person. Yeah, I witnessed this in person. Like I saw D Wade try to guard Kobe, and he just he looked like a complete fool. like a complete fool. Kobe was out there with a broken nose, couldn't breathe. They were calling him the Mass Mamba. You want me to go get the shirt? Hold on.
Shut up.
Let me take a brief intermission.
Yeah. No, that's funny. No, but to your point though, to everybody's point, whatever. With the James Harden thing in his prime, like people actually they put their hands behind their backs because they risk they foul him too easily. Oh,
that's a cool shirt, man.
Let me see, Joe.
The Mass Mamba.
The Mass Mamba.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
That boy, I was in Staples Center a few years back. They put that boy, what's it called? Dwayne Wade and LeBron on Kobe, and he went for 30-something on them. Like they couldn't do a thing with him. No, they can't.
I don't think Kobe. I think Harden also runs really cold a lot of the time. So he's liable to get 11-0 skunked.
1-on-1 though, you think he has a chance to guard him? Dude.
I do, bro. D Wade is one of the best guard defenders, bro. Doesn't he lead? Is he not the all-time leader in guard blocks of all time?
It's John Wall, but he's
John Wall
number 2.
It's John Wall. That's crazy.
All I'm saying is you have to slide your feet in front of James Harden 1-on-1. That's probably not ending well for you. He's just an incredible ISO player. Come on now.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know how this plays into the eye test, but all I'm saying is 1-on-1. I might have to lean to James Harden. James Harden, we're talking about 2s versus 3s at that point. James Harden, he might do a step back, one leg behind the back, you can't guard that. You can't guard that. But I don't know. All time, I'm still leaning to D Wade.
Dwayne Wade is the number 1.
But in guard blocks.
For guard blocks, yeah.
Oh, it's D Wade?
It is.
I'm telling you, bro. D Wade don't play with that boy. He's not one of them. Okay. You know what I mean?
Very tough.
You know what I mean?
Hey, man. At Take 5 Pod. Make sure y'all follow us everywhere. Daily content. YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Special thanks to our guest Noah, for giving us some good takes in there, right? Yeah, so we'll see you all the next Saturday, 11 a.m. We out.